Heyo friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. How are you? I have got one of the best clones I have ever smelled for you today. Now this one is legitimately about as good as I think you could ever get a clone for the price point that they sell at. Now there's a whole lot of clones that have been coming out here lately, like an insane amount. It's kind of difficult to figure out what you should even check out anymore because there's so much stuff dropping on discounters. And a lot of those have been good. Some have been very good. Some of them have been not that great, but then this one is top notch. It is from Maison Alhambra, which is just Lataffa. It's one of their sub brands. Fragrance is the Tux. So let's jump into it. I'll show you guys the presentation, break it down for you, and compare it also to Moustache Eau de Parfum. So let's do it. As I said, guys, got this from fragrancebuy.ca. I will link it in the description. As of when I'm shooting this video, it is sold out. Fragrance Buy has gotten so many clone fragrances in lately. They've become like my go-to source for picking clone stuff up. And that's the first place that I even heard about this one. And price point for this one is right around $25 US, depending on the conversion rate between Canadian and US. So really cheap. All right, first up, let's check out the presentation. So here you got the front of the box, you got the name of the fragrance, name of the house, size and concentration, 90 ml size bottle for this one. Up top says Maison Alhambra, nothing on the sides. On the back, you got your certificate of authenticity. I don't know why it really cracks me up, but every single inexpensive clone fragrance house has their own certificate or sticker of authenticity. I mean, hey man, who wants to pay 20 bucks for a fake clone? A clone of a clone. Do those even exist? Is there a market out there for people knocking off Maison Alhambra? I mean, I guess? I doubt it. And on the back there also you have a sticker that has your ingredients on there. Sticker kind of cheap. It's peeling up on the sides there. On the bottom, you have the Lataffa Perfumes website. Got a QR code, your badge code and barcode. And the badge code says my bottle expires 07/2027. Has a nice kind of papery texture to the box. Looks nice. Opens up like so. And your bottle sits down inside here. Little foam cutout. As far as clone fragrance packaging goes, this is actually pretty nice. And here we have the bottle. And I gotta say, the bottle is nice too. Got Maison Alhambra on the front there, a little The Tux sticker. It's very clean looking, very sharp, very modern looking. And when I say sharp, I do mean it. The bottom of this bottle, the edges, like the corners, those are sharp corners. But again, it looks very clean. I like the look here. Little plain sticker on the bottom. Cap, a little cheap. Slides snugly over the atomizer. And let's go ahead and share a couple sprays here so you can check out the atomizer in action. Here we go. It's all right. Not anything amazing, but not the worst. So, the Tux. In case you're unaware, this is a clone of Yves Saint Laurent's Tuxedo, which is a fragrance that has gotten quite a bit of hype over the years, and for good reason. Smells fantastic, but it is on the pricier side. So Tuxedo is going to run you between $175 and $250 retail, depending on which size that you get. So again, not really all that affordable in the grand scheme of fragrances. Now, the fragrance that has been for the longest time the best alternative to Tuxedo is this Moustache Eau de Parfum from Rochas. And Moustache Eau de Parfum, it has really fluctuated heavily at discounters as far as the price point goes. There were times that this was running closer to like $60, $70 US, and other times you could find the smaller size bottle, 2.5 ounce bottle of this for somewhere in that like $35 to $40 range. But in my mind, this one, the sweet spot has been right around 50. If you can get it less than 50, you're doing good. Above 50, you know, as long as you don't go up to like $80, $90, still not a bad buy. Bottle on Moustache looks great. It's very heavy in the hand. The quality is good. So the Tux has its work cut out for it to be better than Moustache Eau de Parfum, to be considered a better alternative to Moustache Eau de Parfum. And another thing to keep in mind, I guess, is there is a difference in bottle sizes. This one comes in 75 or 125 ml size. This one over here comes in 90 ml size. So keep that in mind if you ever do look at these and contrast and compare in terms of price points. So let's go over the differences in how the Tux smells as an alternative compared to how Mustache Eau de Parfum smells as an alternative to Tuxedo. Now, when you first spray these on, you can tell that they're both very similar to Tuxedo. Mustache Eau de Parfum has a little bit more of an obvious spiciness, if you want to call it that, than the Tux does. The Tux is a little bit sweeter and actually a little bit smoother off the top, which sounds really crazy, but when you spray these on, especially side by side, the Tux is a little smoother off the top. It's really crazy. So yeah, Mustache has a little more obvious spiciness. It has more of a balsamic feel to the resins in there, and you can pick that out right away. Whereas the Tux is more like this very smooth, sweet, warm, ambery vanilla combination. Mustache instead has like a little woodiness underneath it. As I said, a little more of a balsamic feel. So for some people, they might say Mustache smells a little bit more interesting, maybe a little bit more unique overall. The Tux has this really appealing sweet spiciness to it, warm, sweet, and that's going to be the entire aesthetic here from the opening into the dry down, warm, sweet, and spicy. It doesn't have as much of that underlying little bit of woodiness, as I mentioned before, that Mustache has, so that's going to be one of the big differentiators between the two as well. That balsamic feel it doesn't have, and really those are going to be the main differences here. Once you get out of the opening and you start working through the mid and the dry down, they do get more similar. They start to kind of come together a little bit more, the Tux and Mustache Eau de Parfum. But just on the whole, and it's almost sacrilegious to say, I think the Tux is better than Mustache, which is, I don't even know what to say. I've talked about this before, but clones, even back when I started the channel, not that terribly long ago, were not on par. Let's be real. They weren't even close to on par to what they were emulating. With clones back then, you were basically going, well, you know, I'll pay 25, 30 bucks and I'll get, you know, at least decently close to what I'm trying to emulate here, and I'll save up my money and then I'll eventually get the real deal. That was kind of the mindset, I feel like, for a lot of people, because most of the clones were just, they weren't all that, you know? And a lot of times they had really bad problems with performance. The presentations were gaudy in the worst of ways and cheap. Just everything about them sucked, frankly. You had like a couple that would come out here or there that were good, you know, for the price point, and people would go, oh, nice. And they would be very popular, but most of the other ones never really caught on that much. But especially over the past, like, I don't know, year or two, it's like these clone companies have gone into overdrive. I don't know what the deal is, but the quality is just going up so much that you're getting stuff like this that comes out for 20, 25 bucks. I mean, that's 10% the price of the real deal. I mean, that is a huge discount. And then when you smell this in the air, you're like, oh, that's Tuxedo. Nah, that's the Tux. And I've seen some people say, like, what happens to the fragrance brands? The ones that are actually coming out with the new stuff, the ones that are really, you know, pushing things forward and coming out with new fragrances. Like, what happens to them? Because their stuff is getting ripped, right? So that's an interesting conversation. I don't know how much it does affect their bottom line. Like, I don't know if this coming out and being so good does make it where YSL ends up selling less bottles of Tuxedo, or if people who would never buy Tuxedo buy this and smell it and go, man, that is so freaking good, I gotta get the real thing, and like, in a way it helps them. Or maybe it does both those things. Maybe some people end up buying Tuxedo that never would have had the Tux not came out, and also vice versa. Some people that would have bought Tuxedo instead buy this and never buy the real thing. I don't know. But yes, the Tux as an alternative to Tuxedo, fantastic. This is the best cheap alternative to Tuxedo on the market, period. Hard stop. $20, $25, this is undefeatable. This is great. And I love that the presentation, while definitely, you know, kind of ripping off YSL even a little bit more, at least looks clean and classy. Like nothing about this looks like a cheap, trashy clone. And I gotta give it props for that. Atomizer kind of sucks. That gives away the price point a little bit, but the look of the bottle, nice. In terms of seasons, it's going to be more of a fall and winter time fragrance. You could pull it off during the spring also, probably lean more toward early spring. Summertime, I'd reach for something else. And that is because, of course, it is a warm, sweet type of fragrance, as I've mentioned a number of times, and scents like that typically better for cool weather. As far as daytime or nighttime use, like Tuxedo, for most people, this is going to be viewed as an evening scent. I mean, even the name, the Tux, you know, a night on the town, a date night, something like that. I don't think that there's really much hype behind this as of when I'm filming this video, but believe you me, there will be. And in terms of performance, about the same as Mustache Eau de Parfum. So longevity is good, sticks on your skin for a while, doesn't project like a monster, but gets the job done. And at the price point, I can't complain. So there we go, the Tux. You want a tuxedo alternative, get this. Mustache Eau de Parfum is still an amazing fragrance. I love this scent. Don't get me wrong, this stuff absolutely is killer. And this will, to be fair, give you like Tuxedo with a little bit of a twist, kind of doing its own thing. But the Tux, man, this is smooth. And it does not have that off-putting chemical rubbing alcohol kind of thing. When you first spray it on, the Tux is just good right away. So again, they're just doing something else with these clones. All right, that'll do it for me. If you smelled that one, let me know what you think about it. Linked in the description below. Thank you all for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.